everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And tonight I will be reviewing season 4 episode 2 of Real Housewives of Miami. Overall, this season is going pretty well. It's a pretty solid start. Cast is solid, the outfits look good, the ladies look good, everything feels refreshing, and this reboot doesn't feel like something that's just old and tired and needs to be put back. So overall, the season gets a thumbs up from me so far. So you guys tell me what you think. But without further ado, let's get into this review. So, I left a few things out last episode, so I'm just gonna touch it base with it really quick. Okay, Kiki and Marisol. So I'm sorry if I messed up the names last review. Whenever I watch a reality show, it takes a couple episodes for me to get to everybody's names and acquaintance, and with these reality shows, there's so many people everywhere. But anyway, Kiki, beautiful woman. I love her accent. Okay, Kiki and Marisol. I didn't realize there was a thing between them. I mean, it really wasn't a thing. Kiki just got a little annoyed at Marisol. I didn't think it was anything that deep. That's why I didn't really talk about it last episode. But Larsa made a thing later on in this episode, which we'll get to that later on. But yeah, I made a mistake. It was Kiki that talked about milking the goat with your mouth, and that's what kicked off. Who cares what Marisol said? Anyway, moving on. Alexia wants to speak to Herman's lover. So, alright. I have a lot to say about Alexia. Oh, Lord. This is not the type of channel. Okay. I have a lot to say about Alexia. This episode, I have a lot to say about Alexia. I like Alexia, but girl, we gotta talk, okay? We have to talk. So they're playing. So the episode kicks off with Marisol, Alexia's assistant, I think, and her. They're talking, and Alexia's assistant agrees to coordinate the lover and Alexia up. Now, mind you guys, let's just, and I'm gonna reference this when it comes to Lisa in a minute too. This, Herman died when, like 2015, 2016, rest in peace to Herman, but this is old news. She already knew this. Of course, she's doing this for a storyline, but like, for her to, sorry, I'm just adjusting my light. For her to want to confront this guy now, it's like Herman's dead, beyond dead, and gone in transitions. I mean, I get it, it's a storyline, but it's like, okay, Alexia, whatever. You have a lot of storylines that we're going to talk about. Sorry if you see the light changing. I'm adjusting my light. So they're planning on meeting up. The lover said we can meet up when they get home from vacation. This lover is a hot young guy, and Herman was 61 when he died, so I guess Herman had a type. He liked the youngins, the hot youngins that can get it up real quick. I mean, Herman, from what I'm learning, was a freak, and it's not because he was gay. It's more of, I mean, you hooking up with these young guys. I could imagine, was he at sex parties? Like, I'm curious to know more about that. Like, what was Herman really into? And that's why, Alexia, girl, you said you had no idea that you didn't know that Herman was gay. I mean, girl, I'm not in your bedroom, so I can't confirm if you're telling the truth or not. I mean, I don't know how Herman was like in the bedroom, so, and I was never with somebody else in the closet before. All I can say is I've been with Herman for, I believe, well over a decade, and you knew that there were rumors about him being gay. You knew there were rumors about him probably going off to parties or having lovers, so you just ignored the rumors. You never asked one question in all the decades you were with him. Really, Alexia? Denial can only work for so long. Did you just overlook that because he got you a great job to work for his magazine? I don't know. But we'll get back to you, Alexia, because we have a lot to talk about, girl. All right, Larsa and her OnlyFans. Again, sign me up, okay? I'm not someone that's into the porno thing, but if I could take selfies and make $10,000 a day, Of course, I'm going to do that. And I really do believe that she makes 10K a day. You guys have to understand, there is an audience for everybody. Larsa's Middle Eastern, and there are plenty in that community, because that community is very Pacific. That community, I can see Middle Eastern men paying to see her. Maybe not American men, like people like us, people in the American community, maybe not, because I know a lot of people don't like Larsa, but you have to understand she is Middle Eastern, so she caters to a completely different audience on the opposite side of the world from me. I don't know if you're watching, if you're on the opposite side of the world, but she caters to a different audience. And that's what people have to understand, especially when it comes to these internet jobs. She caters to that audience. So I do believe she makes $10,000 a day off of that. There are plenty of rich Middle Eastern men that will pay to talk to Larsa. I believe it. I 100% believe it. Adriana keeps shading Larsa. I'm very curious to see what happens between them later on this season, because she keeps coming for her. She reminds me of when Drew kept coming for Kenya in her confessionals all last season. Ugh, don't even get me started with Drew. Anyway, I don't know. You guys tell me, do you think that Larsa really makes $10,000 a day? I do. It's not that far-fetched. Larsa, girl, you look good for your age, but it's just kind of weird, because it's like you're pushing 50, you pushed 4 kids out of that body. You look great, but it's just kind of weird to see a menopausal age woman posing like this. And it also goes to show that girls like Larsa, that's all they know. Like, Larsa doesn't have any talent, no trade. I doubt she has an education, really. All she knows is sex. That's what she's used all her life to get where she was. That's how she landed Scotty, and God knows how else. I mean, that's how girls like Larsa are. I mean, their whole life is just to be pretty and to be taken care of. There's really nothing else compelling about women like her. And no shade to women like her, you know, do what you gotta do for a living, but it's like you're 50 years old, you're probably going through menopause, and you're still selling sex because you don't know what else to do. And, you know, one thing about those Kardashians is because they're not that far off from Larsa, but they learned a couple trades along the way. Larsa did, and that's why Larsa's 50 years old, posing in thongs to make money. But do what you gotta do. I still wanna do what she does and take selfies and make 10K a day. And also, going on with that, Larsa showing her feet for money. I mean, if you gotta show your feet for money, I mean, if that's all you gotta do to make 10K a day, girl, can I do it? Actually, you know what? I want to get more views. So if I just do, let me see, because I got nice feet. Like, if Larsa can do it, so can I. Oh, Lord. Oh, my feet look kind of cruddy in this, but I promise you my feet are nice. They're manicured, gel, pink, manicured. If Larsa can do it, so can I. So if I hold my foot up, will I be monetized then? Because, like, if people like to see feet, I promise you my feet look nice in this. Is the lighting. I'm going to do it. Okay? I'm going to do it too. Because, yeah. Why my feet look like that? Now I have a foot complex. Whatever. Anyway, let me try this side. I need better lighting. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Anyway, maybe that will make me some money. All right, next scene is Lenny and Lisa's on a date, and they miraculously run into Larsa. Thank you, production. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think that was coincidence. It's just production putting them together. And oh, Larsa, you happen to be here too. I'm here too. Thank you, production. Anyway, Lenny and Lisa. Lisa says they're in this amazing place, and then the scene cuts to Lenny on his phone. I don't know if there really is distance between them or if it's just editing, because you gotta remember, the they have to push a narrative, you know? So if Lisa keeps saying we're in an amazing place and he's smiling and happy, it's going to be boring. So let them edit to the parts where he's on his phone. I highly doubt that Lenny, the whole dinner there, he was like on his phone, like, yeah, whatever. I'm sure he was interacting with his wife at least somewhat. I mean, of course, they're going to edit to that part to stir up the drama. So I'm not really buying into that much. And the main reason why I'm not really buying into that much is because I don't know, their oldest kid is what, like 5, maybe 6. So this emotional affair she's talking about happened, um I'm assuming like 6, 7 years ago. You guys got to remember, this show has been gone since 2013. So all of this stuff they're rehashing, from Alexia talking about Herman's death, Mama Elsa's death, Lisa and Lenny separating, this happened over 5 years ago. They're bringing it up now, and the way, you know, production edits it to make it, it tricks you to think it's real time, but it's not real time. This affair happened before they had kids. So that's why when she's saying she's in an amazing place, yeah, I can believe it, because this happened years ago. So I do believe that they have moved on. Now, how they are currently, it does seem a little stale, but like I said, you know, production has to edit things a certain way to fit a certain narrative. So you guys gotta remember that. Okay. Oh, if their marriage is not doing well, I mean, I doubt Lenny will ever see this, but Dr. Lenny Hochstein, it's cheaper to keep her. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Because if they do divorce, they have to sell that gorgeous house that they spent years building on Star Island. They have to split the kids. He obviously has to pay her child support, because what does Lisa do for a living? I like Lisa, but let's be real. He has to pay her all types of alimony and spousal support plus child support. On top of that, I believe they own a med spa together, so then they have to figure out how to split that. It's cheaper to keep her. Just stay together, okay? Enough of this divorce stuff. Okay, Gertie. We're high school sweethearts, and then they turn to college sweethearts. She has 2 cute boys, cute. I really don't have much to say about Gertie. I like her. I like her. Pretty, nice husband. She's married to somebody that's simple, average. Firefighter, nothing too flashy. He's a hero. Great. 2 boys, cute. I really have nothing to say about her. Okay, next, Adriana, Julia. They meet up together. They go to some storage unit. I love Martina's artwork. Martina has some really nice artwork. Like, I actually, if I had the money, would buy that, actually. And I don't say that very often. I love their French speaking. Adriana has said before that she speaks 5 languages. I'm somebody that loves people that speak multiple languages. Like, I'm always like dissecting people's brains. Like, my boyfriend speaks 2 languages, and I'm always dissecting his brains. Like, wow, how do you do that? Because I don't speak another language. So just to know that your brain can go in and out of languages, especially Adriana's, because she goes in and out of 5 languages. I don't know all 5. I mean, obviously one is English, Spanish, Portuguese, because she's Brazilian, French, and I don't know the 5th one. I'm assuming that's all of them. I love it. I love it so much. Adriana and Julia are very flirty. I mean, Adriana was always the flirty type. How do I feel about that? We'll see what happens. Okay, Todd and Alexia. Now, Alexia, girl, I always liked you, but the remainder of this video, I'm just gonna have to be looking at you side-eye. Alexia, you're very pretty. I think you overdid your lips a little bit, but other than that, you're very pretty. Todd. I don't know how I feel about Todd yet. He seems like your typical outgoing... Okay, he gives me that outgoing white guy, like Italian white guy from Long Island. I know he's from Staten Island, but I'm from New York. I get this like upbeat, like, yeah, I'm with the fam. Like, I've seen guys like that on Long Island. He seems cool. He seems cool, but I just can't help but side-eye him, especially because it seems like him and Peter got into a physical altercation. Once that episode airs, ooh, we're gonna get into it, because he has no right to put her hands on her kid. No right. He has no right to even talk to him crazy. It's one thing to get in little arguments, but he has no right. I understand that Peter, I'll get into that in the next scene, comes off a little blunt and sometimes a little rude, at least on camera. But that gives you, if you have an issue with Peter, you go to his mother or his father. But if you're with his mother, go to his mother. Don't take matters into your own hands, because if that was one of your daughters and Alexia acted like that with your daughters, you would never speak to Alexia ever again. Let's not do this. Ooh, I got upset. Um, Alexia's smiling ear to ear like a little teenage girl about this guy. I can see it. I can see it. And I can believe it. But Alexia... Okay, she talked briefly about she always dated Cuban guys. Now she's with a gringo, and yay. Okay. Okay, I really want to get to this note. Let me speed up. So do you guys know if they really got married? I looked on her IG. I don't think they got married. She's talking about that the wedding's supposed to be in August or hitting January now. I don't think the wedding happened. We'll see. I think they're still together. I just don't think they got married. I get it. Peter versus Todd. Out of line. I don't care like what Peter said, even if he was rude to Todd. The fact that he possibly put his hands on Peter, so out of line. You do not do that. Like, what is up with this guy? And even in the trailer, he's like, I'll hit you back. You didn't learn your lesson the first time? Who does Todd think he is to even be able to do that? Where is Peter's father to beat him up? Like, who is he to even say something like that? I don't care how much of a jerk Peter may be. I don't care how much you don't like him. You don't put your hands on somebody else's kid, especially if they're grown. Even if they're a kid, you don't do that. And Alexia, this is when I want to get into Alexia. Alexia, sorry, it's late. I don't want to scream, but Alexia, girl, stop making excuses for this guy. It is really getting on my nerves that you keep making excuses for this guy. Oh, it's just a moment of hysteria, and it was a horrible moment, and I just want them to learn from... No. It wasn't a moment of hysteria. It was a moment, but it seems like it was a moment where one person got mad at each other and blamed somebody for whatever, like what happened with Frankie, and took all his anger and frustration out. From what it seems like, Todd been wanting to put his hands or fight with Peter, and he was just looking for his moment. And when that moment happened with Frankie, which we're going to talk about at the end of this, that's when he decided to let it loose. It was not a moment of hysteria, and even if it was a moment of hysteria, that's no excuse. Stop making excuses for this Todd guy. I get you love this guy, but he has no respect for your son. You don't have to like Todd doesn't have to like Peter and vice versa, but it gives you, this is not your kid. And I don't care, like she keeps making excuses. I think even last week she said, oh, he's harder on girls than boys. So what? Stop, like you're making excuses. It doesn't matter if he has sons, daughters, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, that is not his kid, and he has no right to put his hands on him. He has no right to disrespect him. If he has an issue with Peter, he talks to you because you're his mother. He has no right to do that. I would like to know what happened between Peter and Todd when they did real estate together. I want to know I want to know Peter's side of the story, because Alexia keeps making excuses. Like, it just really bothers me that she's sitting up here the whole episode like it was just a terrible moment for all of us. Oh, you know, both of them just got out of hands. Like, stop. It wasn't right. Period. Let me move on because I can go on about this. All right, Nicole and Anthony, this weird couple. It is weird to me. Okay, so Nicole Saki night is pretty much a rich upscale version of when we invite our friends over for pizza or Chinese or sushi, whatever. That's pretty much what it is. I don't think it was anything appropriating. I mean, we invite our friends over for pizza and Chinese, and she did too. She just did the rich way. I mean, if I had money and I invited my friends over for dinner or to get pizza, I would decorate the place too. Maybe not to that extent, but rich people don't live like us. Rich people, have the means to create the atmosphere. When I invite my friends over for some Chinese or whatever, it's just we order food, we sit, we watch Netflix. That's it. That's all it is. Okay. Nicole is bringing up the marriage thing. I thought that was so weird. So her and Anthony are sitting down. They're in the living room, I guess. They're talking, and she's like, "Oh, what if people ask if we're married?" What? Nobody's gonna ask that. Or what did she say? She was like, "What if people ask if we got married?" I'm like, no. Why are you bringing that up? Like, nobody's gonna ask that. Everybody everybody there knows that you guys are together. What did she say? She didn't say that exactly. Would she ask something like, what if they ask us if we're legally married or something? I'm like, nobody is gonna be like, hey, I need to see your marriage license. Can you bring up, like, that's what she was giving me. Like, people are gonna ask, like, oh, let me see your marriage license to prove that you guys are husband and wife. Because she said, well, you introduced me as your wife. Aren't they gonna ask, like, if we are legally married? I'm like, the average person doesn't ask that. If you say, this is my wife, this is my husband, whatever, they just be like, okay. She's just kind of weird about the marriage thing. It's like, it seems like it does bother her. Last episode, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. I was giving everybody the benefit of the doubt the first episode because it's the first episode and it's the first time in 8 years they're back. So I kept it very light. And also, it's my first video. I was really rusty, but I'm getting in the hang of things now. Yeah, she keeps stop talking about it. If you don't care about being married, and stop talking about it. The more you talk about it, the more I'm starting to believe that you actually do care about being married. Your guy kind of weirds me out, but we'll talk about that some other episodes. Okay, Gertie brings Alexia and Marisol. Okay, so the scene changes to Gertie. I really like Gertie. Bringing Alexia and Marisol to this weird venue space, and Shady Production decided to play some classical bass and tenor music, creepy bass tenor music in the background. Okay, thank you for, lightening up the atmosphere, production. We get it, it was creepy. What was it called? The Spanish something. Gertie got married there. That's good for her. Yeah, it's kind of weird, especially when she brought out, like, this is where there's a reception where you're gonna be dancing. I'm like, this dark cave? Not for me, but to each their own. Gertie's questionnaire, it was funny, loved it. I think it's appropriate if you are a party planner, you need to know everything. So yeah, it was funny. I wrote, Alexia, you can't see it on here, keeps making excuses for Todd. Alexia, girl, I don't want to drag you, but this whole making excuses for Todd thing is just not working for me, because from what it seems like, and I could be wrong, but it seems like they did put their hands on each other, and then in the trailer for him to be like, and I will hit you back. You want your son to walk you down the aisle. I understand. If I were you, I want that too. But stop. It was wrong. I really want to keep going in on this topic, but this video is going to be an hour long if I do that. Weird reception space, talked about that. Alexia, okay, so the scene changes now to Alexia meets up with her son Peter for lunch. Peter's getting a divorce. Sorry about that, Peter. Hope it works out for you next time. Alexia, Peter not liking Todd has not. Yes, Alexia. You said that maybe, again, making excuses. You're saying maybe Peter's divorce, he's letting that out on her and her, his relationship with Todd. No, Alexia, that man put his hands on him. That man insulted him, and I don't know what happened between him and the real estate thing, but that man disrespected him on several occasions. It has nothing to do with his divorce. Again, she keeps making excuses. Wake up and smell the coffee. Your dude is disrespectful. I've encountered guys like this. Like, A lot of them are on Long Island, Staten Island. These. I'm not trying to say all Italian guys are like this. It doesn't have to do with the race. They're cocky. They're that family man. These Italian, almost Guido like. I mean, Guido ones are more in Jersey, but they're like, I'm family. I'm most popular. I'm this. I'm this perfect guy. But they really are assholes underneath. And I feel like Alexia will see that one day. Because there's something about Todd that I'm like, you are a jerk. Something. I don't see it yet. But the way he treats her son, it's like, you are not, really going on this, his father. If you have a problem, you go to Alexia. And the fact that you won't go to Alexia and have her address the issue makes me wonder, do you even respect Alexia, or she's just your pretty young blonde Barbie and you're the man of the house? I don't know. And let me stop going into it. We're only 2 episodes in. We'll talk about it later on. Peter, I said that Peter comes off blunt and he could come off rude, but he does have a point. Alexia keeps making excuses. Todd has no right to talk to Peter in that way. I agree with Peter. It's like, you have this new family now. Congratulations. Good for you. You have 2 daughters now. Congratulations. But I don't have to be a part of it. I 100% agree. Just because you're doing this and you want to start this new life in this new family, that's great. That's great. But I don't have to be a part of it. He is 29 at the time of this filming. He has his own life to live. If he doesn't want to be a part of it, he doesn't want to be a part of it. I know you want him to be a part of it because he's your son, but he's too grown to. If he doesn't want to be a part of it, and he doesn't want to be a part of it, I agree. He doesn't have to do it. But I do understand. Alexia, obviously that's her son. She wants him to be a part of the wedding. Alexia, okay. What is with women that got married so many times and wanting to have a big wedding all over again? I've never been married. I don't even want a big wedding. I don't even want a wedding at all. I don't want to invite a bunch of people I don't care about and spend all this money for one day. I'd rather spend that on like a 6-month honeymoon. I don't know, but I was never really a wedding girl. So whatever. I just feel like, Alexia, this is your 3rd marriage. You don't need a wedding, really. I think Todd referenced that you can just go to the courthouse. If you want to do a wedding, fine. It sounds like you're going to do a big wedding for a story for the show. That's fine if Bravo's going to pay for it. I mean, Peacock. But I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. But, to each their own. I mean, people love weddings. People want to feel special. So I understand. I really do understand. That's pretty much it on Alexia. Okay. Okay, let me hurry up. Okay. Nicole, upscale sushi night. Already talked about that. Oh, yeah, that weird person on the table. I kind of agreed with what Larsa said. It was kind of weird, but whatever, it's the atmosphere. Okay. I guess Gertie's the confessional party reviewer, because it's the 2nd episode in a row where she's reviewing somebody's party. I guess the producers, when they're interviewing her, like, Gertie, what is your opinion on this party? So whatever. Anthony's the only guy there. It was kind of weird, but I mean, none of the other guys showed up, so it's not like a Simon Gudabadia when he was just staring creepily at those ladies at the pool in Real Housewives of Atlanta when he was checking out Portia and her sister and Fallon, and that was awkward. This, I understand. None of the men showed up, but Anthony, I liked how he was interacting. From the little bit of the edited footage we saw, he was interacting and being nice, so I had nothing to say about that. Alexia got stuck in the bathroom. That was kind of funny. Kiki looks like a model. I forgot to mention that last episode. I love her accent. So Larsa does her attempt to kick off drama when she talks to Alexia and Marisol, and she's like, oh, Marisol, did you and Kiki work it out? I'm like, work it out? Was there an issue to begin with? Because I didn't think anything was that deep, and it wasn't. So then, the dramatic music, and Marisol pulls Kiki to the side, and they squash it out, and Kiki's like, we good, it's fine, whatever. I don't really want to go into that, because it wasn't anything to talk about anyway. So then, Alexia's talking to Anthony, and she asked him, when you get married? I guess production put the bug in her ear to ask that question. And he has this very weird answer all over the place. He's like, well, obviously marriage is something that's on my is on the list for us, but yeah. It's just a yes or no question. Can we not with the rhetoric? Just is it yes or no? If it's a yes, yes. If it's a no, who cares? It's your life, your relationship. Who cares what anybody else thinks? Okay, so the scene ends off with Alexia talking to Marisol, Adriana, and Julia, and she begins to talk about the Peter versus Todd incident. We're going to get into that a lot next week and in the upcoming weeks. And long story short, Peter was having brother time with Frankie. They were smoking weed. It was an accident. Peter, I guess, wasn't paying attention, and Frankie smoked too much weed. Blood pressure dropped, and what's his name? Frankie passed out. Do I think Peter purposely did that? No. Do I think it was just an accident? Yeah, accidents happen, even serious ones. It is what it is. It's human. We're human. It's human nature. We're all gonna make mistakes. Like Alexia said, Peter immediately revived him and called 911. So for Todd to let his anger out on him, it's like he already feels like crap because he could have potentially really injured his brother more than he already has been in the past. He already has that guilt on him, and you're gonna yell at him and talk down at him, which is why I believe that what's his name? Todd was just waiting for a moment to snap at Peter. And he took up that moment. That moment's supposed to be focused on Frankie. And instead it turned to a whole brawl from what it seems like. Yeah, Todd just, I don't know, there's something about Todd I just don't like. I don't know. Like I didn't dislike Todd before this review, but as I'm looking at my notes and doing this review, I'm like, ugh. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think Peter did anything wrong. He was spending time with his brother, and an accident happened. He tried to fix it. He tried to do his best. Everybody makes mistakes, Todd. We'll get to you more next week. But that's it, guys. That is the end of my review. I'm going to review the next episodes coming up. And I'm going to try to put edits to my videos so they won't be as long. So you guys comment down below what you guys want to see, what you guys recommend. I'm still new at this. And thank you guys for viewing everything and being patient. So I will talk to you guys later.